Hello CHS, I'm doing self-videoing, so I hope it works and you can hear me through my mask. Thought you might like to see the church again. It's been really nice to be here again and see the building. On level 3 we're not meeting yet, but the church is still being used. I just wanted to show you what the building looks like at the moment and how it's been changed over the last week. And also to introduce you to Caitlin, who's going to be overseeing the microsite here, looking after some of the ladies who are going to be using our building. So Caitlin, would you like to show us around?
Yes, absolutely. So here at the door we have our sanitizing station along with our COVID-19 screening set up here. We keep track of everybody who comes through the doors. And then this way, in the hall we have the dining area. We're also using the kitchen. This is where the ladies gather to have their meals. This space is a bit of a lounge area for the ladies for them to just enjoy the community and the time here. And this is their living area. Each lady has their own space with a bed and bedding provided by generous individuals, and yeah, this is home.
Thanks so much.
Thank
so
you.
Caitlin is married to Phineas.
Yep.
Phineas the man. Great to have you here. And the two of them are going to be managing the microsite over the next few days.
Yes.
And then I also wanted to bring Barry in.
Take my mask off.
Barry taking his mask off. So I just wanted to say, like, this was a church full of chairs a few weeks ago. A week ago. How did this happen, Barry?
Yeah, how did it happen? Good question. As a team, we've got a building team, and we've been gathering and we've been trying to work out what to do with the building, alongside the solidarity team. And so with Ronald and Nina and Brendan, we've just been thinking. But even before Phineas and Caitlin came on board, we were starting to realise that we had to shift things and move things out of the space, but not knowing what the space would be used for. And so that carried on, and very tentatively started taking things away and putting things in safe spaces and trying to use our imagination. And then at the same time, looking at social media and what's been going on, and post-Strandfontein, and I kept on seeing these posts from this complete stranger called Phineas Sivetsani. And I told him that every time I saw one of these posts, it was almost like someone was poking me. It was like this poke. It was very painful. Because you saw real need, and the love that was coming through the post was very evident, and so this thing kept on poking me, and at the same time we're going, what do we do with our building? And this thing kept on poking me, and so those two things, and then at some point there was a key moment where we're sitting down trying to sort out the building, and Nina Young says, well, of course I just thought that actually I'm not sure that we would really be going back to what we had in this building. You know, we're making plans for a new building. And are we even going to use the building in the same way? And so I then, it was almost like this doorway of going, what could happen here? And so we then had a conversation with Phineas. I'm a complete stranger. My name's Barry. You don't know me from Adam. But you're saying something, you're telling a story, and can you tell us what's going on? I didn't tell him about a building, but when he then started saying about 10 women amongst the 25, and the fact that they've got this service and they're doing this and they're doing psychosocial support and the feeding and the Muizenberg can, it just felt like this extraordinary thing. The only thing that was missing was a building.
And we had a building. That was amazing. Thanks, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, the way I met Barry was, I think for me was divine, was straight God, because we've been praying, we've been marching with the guys on the street and just crying out for help. So I have like a journalism, photography background, and I started sharing the guys' stories in hope that somebody will open their heart into, doing something with the homeless people. And I mean, for me, when it comes to homeless people, I'm from Limpopo. I'm a missionary from Limpopo.
If you doubt that he's a missionary, check these out. He's got the socks and sandals. He has to be a missionary.
So I'm a missionary from Limpopo, and I came to Cape Town to study. But one thing that puzzled me when I came to Cape Town, I'm a village boy. I'm from a village. So I was raised to in a community where what's mine is yours. We look after each other. And when I came to Cape Town and I saw how many people were homeless, it didn't sit right with me. Even to the point where people were saying to me that, you know what, this is normal, this is okay. And for me, I was like, okay, I was a Christian, and I was like, if this is not the reality of heaven, why should we shouldn't be okay with it? If this is not in heaven, why do we want to normalize it here? Because as Christians, we should have like a kingdom mindset when it comes to working and helping people heal. So for me, it was like something needs to be done. And I remember telling one of my friends that I feel pregnant. And he was like, what? Only women get pregnant. But I was like, nah, I feel spiritually pregnant, because every time when I see someone on the street, I have this labor pains. And then he was like, what are you talking about? You're going mad. I was like, no, I'm not. I feel like something needs to be addressed. Something needs to be done concerning these people who are living on the street. Because for me, when I saw them for the first time, I was like, these are prodigal sons and daughters of God who just need to be reminded that they are loved by God so that they can go home to the heart of the Father. And because of my orphan background, because I grew up as an orphan, and I know what it means to feel like, you know, like you don't belong, and to feel a little bit rejected. So that kind of drove me to work with the guys on the street and to make them realize that, you know what, you are loved by God, and God is calling you back to his heart, you know. And when we started doing that with my wife on the street, we started to realize that all these people really want is relationships, is friendships, is community. And that's something that we believe that the only thing that's going to end homelessness is not an individual, it's a community of people. And I was brought up that way, you know, that we need to become like a soil to the seed. Because the only time for us is like, homeless people are like a seed, but if there's no ground, if they're not planted into a fertile ground, which is the body of Christ, they're going to die. And that's when we started talking with a lot of different people about, you know, what we're doing, you know, putting it out there, sharing their stories. And what manifested out of it was something really beautiful. And that's where Barry kept on feeling all these posts. And I believe it was God just talking with him, you know, to the point where he opened his heart and he challenged some people in the church. And this became a product of it, you know. And the beauty of just God bringing everybody together, not through a church vision, but through the kingdom mind. It was, I'm still in awe of what God is doing. But for me to see the body of Christ from all over coming together and say, hey, we have to love our brothers and sisters, especially those who are on the street. It is a dream come true, not just for me, but for those guys. For me to see them here and to see them living in freedom and to see those pictures in my background, it melts my heart, you know, because I know how it feels to be hugged for the first time in your life, and for that spirit to be broken away. And that is our hope in this church, that they will feel that hug of the Father. And when they feel that hug of the Father, that orphan spirit will be broken away from them, because we want them to know that God loves them. And that's our hope during this time, is for them to see that and experience that, you know, it's His love, you know, through the church. Because we believe that's the only thing that can change them.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Benny. That's amazing.
Pleasure.
What practically as well can people be doing or praying for you guys?
I think above anything else, I believe prayer. I believe in prayer. I believe in prayer. So before anything else, you know, I believe that if people can just, you know, stand with us in prayer, because this is not an easy thing, you know, because our heart is to rehabilitate the ladies and to make sure that they get skills, then they live the street life. But with all of that comes a lot of challenges. Finances are involved as well. But the most important thing for us is we need prayer. We need more labors, as the Bible says. The harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. So we need more hands and feet, you know, in the church to help us in terms of volunteering, you know, to offer some of our ladies skills that they can probably use in the future, you know. But also, you know, finances, because we're looking into putting them into rehab or places where they can actually help them holistically, you know, to come out of their situation. Because, you know, in this place right now, what we're dealing with is the whole emotional healing and spiritual healing. But we believe in terms of skills, we don't have those skills, and we want to pull everybody in who has a kingdom mind to help us, you know, in terms of teaching those ladies how to either sew, you know, how to do gardening, how to do things that will make them feel like they are worthy of something, you know. So yeah, those are some of the skills that we're looking into, you know, and, you know, making sure that we have the finances to actually connect them with the right people to be able to gain those skills and be employable, you know, have a job, you know, have a, you know, a card, you know, have a key. Some of them have never had a key for a door. They don't know how that feels. So for me, it's like, I want them one day to see them with a key in their hand and they'll walk into a home, not a house, a home, you know, with a wallet, with a card. That for me, that's my end goal for me, is for me to see them in a home, you know,
Great.
loved.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So please do keep the guys in your prayer here. We just wanted you to have a chance to see how the space has changed and going to be used over the next while. And please do be praying that God would be at work in this. For me, it feels like such an exciting expression of our life centre as well. Our hope was for a life centre here, a place that's a home, a hub, and a harbour, and a holy place. And it does feel like God is creating that here in ways that we didn't quite expect, but we feel are such a big part of his kingdom. And I'm also just so encouraged at how it feels like so many people have come together, different churches, organizations, community groups, to make this possible. It's not just one church, one organization, one person. It feels like it's been a real community effort and something that God by his Spirit is making happen. So we give thanks for that and pray for his blessing on the project and on the team here as they serve in this place. Thanks, guys.